Welcome, everybody. Welcome on today's discussion on the development of instant inclusive payment systems in Ethiopia. This panel or this discussion, we will be exploring the current landscape of Ethiopia's payment systems, the role of instant payments in driving financial accessibility for underserved populations, and the innovations needed to overcome infrastructure challenges. And we are so happy to have today with us, no, our experts, no, with deep experience in payment systems, regulation, and technology, no, and we will be also discussing the opportunities presented by the recent digital public infrastructure framework and how it can foster an inclusive and efficient financial ecosystem. So welcome, Sisay, and welcome, Girum. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you very much, Xavier. Thank you for inviting us.
Maybe I can start by giving like a very short bio about you, so our audience can know a little bit who you are and what your professional experience has been. No, Sisay is the senior manager of the surveillance and investigation at the Ethiopian Securities Exchange, with extensive experience in managing clearing, settlement, and reconciliation processes during his time at Ethiopost. He spent 9 years there, so he also has worked at the National Bank of Ethiopia, contributing to the development of Ethiopia's payment infrastructure. So we are so glad to have you with us today, Sisay.
Thank you.
And we also have Girum Fekadu. He's a digital financial service risk manager at Ethiopost, and with expertise in risk management and internal auditing. You know, his experience includes auditing at Ethoswitch and providing subject matter expertise at the Digital Frontier Institute, where he focuses on financial inclusion and digital transformation. Both Sisay and Girum are graduates from the Digital Frontiers Instant and Inclusive Payments program, and we are very happy to have them today with us. So I think that after these short introductions, I think that we can start. I would like to encourage all participants to engage with our panelists by posting your questions in the chat, or you can also raise your hands to speak, and we will be happy to address any of your questions. Your thoughts and inquiries are invaluable, but it will help us to really enrich this discussion. So please don't hesitate to share your questions with us. No, we really want to ensure that your voice is also heard. So again, don't hesitate to jump in, and let's make it as dynamic and interactive as we can. But just to get that started, let me ask you both, Sisay, Girum, with your experience across key institutions like Ethoswitch, Ethiopost, or even the central bank. No, how do you see the evolution of Ethiopia's payment system over the past decade? And I can maybe whoever wants to start.
Okay. Thank you. So I think you raised a good question. Probably since digital payment, we have been doing a lot in that space, and also there have been a lot of encouragements recorded throughout the period. So probably to start with, like we can say, like there is a big development in the digital payment. So that is in terms of transaction volume, we can say that's huge. We are recording a lot of transaction, and also consumer has been, using digital payment transaction over the past decade. There have been a lot of increment in that regard. So we can see, like in terms of that, we can see mobile banking, mobile money, card payment transactions have been growing, and also in terms of channel as well. The channels like ATM, POS, wallet, and also mobile usage of mobile for payment has been increasing, which in turns, increase the potential that we are able to, include those that has not been in the financial space. So financial inclusion also has been increasing. And also there has been infrastructure development the past period. That's to mean that the telecom infrastructure for digital payment system, so enhanced internet connectivity for transactions and mobile network coverage has been played a crucial role in that regard. And also there has been another one is in e-commerce growth. So there has been, transaction that has been done in the payment gateway, and also, there are different merchants that are growing to, supply these services. And also contactless payment, also another area that has been, increasing. So there are NFC payment is playing a crucial role in that regard. And also, actually, for all these changes, and we have seen a lot of evolution in this regard, the regulatory framework change has been played a lot in this regard, starting from 2008. The National Bank of Ethiopia has been initiated a payment system modernization project, which includes RTGS and ACH establishment, which has been achieved in 2011, and also after that establishing its switch, so-called its switch, the national switch of Ethiopia, which has been operational in 2016. After the establishment, there was a lot of progress in achieving ATM, POS, interoperability, instant payment, introduction of standard keyword recently. That has been achieved. And also there was a lot of multiple directive that has been introduced by the central bank that also played a crucial role. That means previously, a while ago, only banks and microfinances were in this space, but after establishing these directives and proclamation, for instance, licensing and authorization payment instrument issuer, ONP 01 2020, ONP 02 2020. This also payment system operators has been introduced in the industry. So Telebur, M-Pesa, eSwitch, Paysys, this institution has been played a crucial role in this regard. So I think in the coming period, we will be seeing a lot of transaction and also adoption in this digital space. So I think there is a good future in this regard. Maybe,
Excellent.
yeah.
Excellent, Sisay. So definitely, no, in 10 years, no, many things has happened, no, from building and rolling out like a new national switch that we both have been quite involved on that task, no, many mobile payment providers that have been entering the markets and more uptake from the customers. But Girum, from your perspective, because you also tend to wear like a hat that is more on the risk side of things, no, so you have been an internal audit, you now it's a risk specialist. What is your perception of what has happening in the payments landscape space in Ethiopia in the last years? How you see things evolving here?
Okay, thank you, Xavier. Over the past decade, as Sisay mentioned, Ethiopia has witnessed a remarkable transformation in payment system driven primarily by strategic policy changes and the technological advancement. Some of the key milestones is the government has progressively liberalized the financial sector, allowing for the entry of mobile network operators and the fintechs. In addition to that, the government has also prioritized financial inclusion, particularly through initiatives like National Financial Inclusion Strategy, which brought the formal financial system. In addition to that, there is also another, like already my colleague mentioned it, but in addition to that, there's the rise of digital wallet, which is provided convenient and a secure payment option for consumers. The expansion of POS and the ATM network has facilitated in-person transactions. So the government cash transfer program has also catalyzed digital finance adoption as beneficial, increasingly receiving funds electronically. Whereas the digitalization of government, P2G, for example, G2P payments such as utilities, bills, taxes, has encouraged the use of digital channels. So this is some of them. But in addition to that, recently the Ethiopian government launched public infrastructure, which is directly against the digital public infrastructure, APIs, synthesize the secure data exchange. This secure data exchange is crucial for the success of national digital identity program and other digital services. Just some of them is that just additionally there is widespread adoption of smartphones and the mobile internet, which created necessary infrastructure for digital payments. So additional there is biometric authentication like fingerprint, facial recognition, which enhances security and the governance are the critical areas in addition to the establishment of it. So some of them is this. Its impact is there. There is also some impact on the key institution like which played a crucial role in facilitating interoperability, promoting adoption of digital payments. When we come to Ethiopost is expanding services to include financial services, leveraging an extensive network of branches to reach a wide customer base. So Ethiopost is established agent network, one-stop shop for financial, government, humanitarian, and other non-financial services. This helps to processing, digital ID processing, expand markets, and financial services for our customers, rural area, and remote area. When we come to central banks, as already mentioned, the driving policy reforms, regulating financial sector, and overseeing the development of digital payment ecosystem really appreciated. And those are the key impact on the key institution.
Excellent. Excellent. So definitely many changes, many in the last years, no, and with changes always come challenges, no. So let's move to that, no, to challenges, no, especially looking at the role that you have had in the development of payment space with your involvement in the national switch. How you see all the changes have come with challenges, no? What do you think that are the main challenges that now Ethiopia face in terms of scaling up the instant payment systems, no? So we now already have like a instant payment system, but what are the challenges, no? How we make them even more inclusive, more interoperable? What you identify as the main challenges that Ethiopia is facing today on the instant payment system space?
Shall I go?
Please, Sisay.
All right. Okay. So, as you mentioned, benefits will have, considerable also the challenge as well. So when we see, this instant payment scaling up, it's growing very well, actually, considerably in unexpected speed. Even the adoption by the customers, because it will, benefit everyone involving in the transaction by settlement, and also fasten the whole process transaction because it's real time as well. So I believe in that space there are few challenges still existing. So For instance, we can see there is still a need to be a work to be done across, collaboration area by stakeholders. There are many stakeholders that need to be working together to create more efficient space for this instant payment growth. So that's one. And also in the unavailability of full-fledged directory service is another challenge. So I think for that, for alias service, there has been work with the national ID and also other stakeholders to, enable this directory service so that this transaction processing will be efficient, and also the transaction dispute will be reduced accordingly. So for that, there has been work, but there is challenge now for the time being, because crediting transaction or sending money for somebody, you might, enter wrong account number, something like that. So for that, I think this directory service will remove that challenge, I believe. So that is the second one. And also, in some cases, there is elongated process of dispute resolution. So that's something to consider. I think there has been a lot of work in terms of rule development and also system preparation. So I think in order to build trust from the customer, we have to do this efficiently. Whenever transaction is disputed, that's inevitable, but the process should be shortened. So that's something we need to consider, and we are working on it as well. And another challenge, I believe, is there is no standard transaction amount for one specific transaction. There is no standard across all participants, I mean. So that will, reduce, simplify, and also build trust for the customers, because whenever they try to send a specific amount, that if there is a standard, they will build, trust in the interoperability as well. So I think it will increase simplicity, enhance user experience, and also increase trust. The last challenge I will be mentioning is maybe there are some fraud and security concern as well. So we need to develop, strong fraud mitigation framework, as well as, cybersecurity framework as well. So I think that's something to consider, and we are working on it, but we have to, erase these challenges to ensure smooth processing of these instant payment transactions.
Excellent, Sisay. No, definitely you have mentioned the word trust quite a lot, and I think it's a very important element. No, building trust. No, because it's something that it's very hard to build, but you can lose it very quickly. No, and when you talk about standardization among participants, no dispute resolution, be sure that really we work in measures that really help to build this trust, and obviously also fraud and security concerns that here, Girum, again, it's an area that you focus quite a lot, no? From your perspective, Girum, these are the same challenge that you identify in Ethiopia right now, or there are other things that you will highlight?
Yeah, just to highlight, there is a challenge. A switch launched cross-domain IIPS in 2022, which represents significant milestone for Ethiopian financial sector. So the unified system is similar, switching, clearing, exchanging of financial instruments accessible to both and non-banking. However, scaling up this IIPS presents several challenges. For example, the complexity of IIPS projects take multiple years to implement and scale, often requiring extensive industry, regulatory consultation, and the technical iteration. So the first one is the complexity of the project. The other is the system integration with various systems and the stakeholders, especially when dealing with different tech standards, such as messaging standards like ISO 2022. When they merge, they are differing. So the other is the infrastructure readiness. So ensuring necessary infrastructure is required, like networks, data centers, demand for IIPS. That can be a significant challenge. So the other one is allocating adequate resources, including human capital, financial resources to support the development and implement IIPS is crucial. That can be a challenge. Assessing the readiness of stakeholders is also a challenge. So the stakeholder may be not willing, the willingness, the system capacity, their expectation is essential for effective implementation that can be overlooked. The other challenge is maybe the collaboration, fostering collaboration among stakeholders, including banks, DFS provider, regulatory bodies, very vital for the success of IPS. The final one is awareness creation. So raising awareness among the public and the business about the benefits the benefit and the usage of IPS is very crucial for the adoption that can be challenged in developing countries like here. Thank you, Jeber.
Let's talk about that. Let's go deep on what you were mentioning right now, Girum, on collaboration, no? And let's talk a little bit about that. What we can do to really scale up the uptake of instant payments right now in Ethiopia. No? Which kind of partnerships do you see that can help us to scale up instant payments in the country? So do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, just in collaboration is very, very important. But regarding that, they need to seek strong regulatory support to create conducive environment for the development and the growth of instant payment systems. So education and awareness campaigns should be benefit the instant payment system. So partnership with banks, MFIs, regulatory bodies, governments is very crucial and very, very important. Establishing clear and transparent, realistic roadmaps for clients, products, the services to ensure timely execution of the project is also very necessary, and putting in place some kind of stakeholder engagement is also very important, as it is recommended from the best practices, which is implementing IPS to the country. So when we're leveraging this best practice, Ethiopia can successfully scale up the instant and the payment system and realize the benefits of efficient inclusive financial ecosystem.
Excellent. Excellent. So we have talked about partnerships, collaboration, some of the challenges, some of the changes that has happened in the country in the last years. Let's try to focus a little bit more on the regulatory framework that currently exists in the country. You know, how do you see it, this regulatory framework, in terms of balancing the innovation needed with the security that it's also a concern, no? As Sisay was mentioning, no, in terms of building this trust, no? How the actual regulatory framework do you think that works in terms of balancing both, no? The need of promoting innovation, but at the same time being sure that in terms of security, in terms of consumer protection, we are particularly well protected, no? Specifically with the underserved communities, no? You do have some thoughts on that?
Okay.
And maybe go ahead, Girum.
Okay. So can I? Okay.
Please.
Regarding the Ethiopian regulatory framework for payment that involves balance, innovation, and the security and consumer protection, the National Bank of Ethiopia has adopted risk-based approach. So considering regulatory sandboxes to foster innovation, so ensuring adequate safeguarding. When we see the consumer protection measure, there is a directive, the NEB is, there is a directive by the National Bank of Ethiopia, the financial literacy promotion, cybersecurity standards, and there is also data privacy law. In addition to this, interoperability and the financial inclusion is also the key priority. So the National Bank of Ethiopia supported mobile money agent networks to expand access to financial services in underserved communities. So those are the basic of that. In addition to that, when we see the consumer protection laws such as proclamation number H13 hashtag 2030, which provide legal foundation for safeguarding consumer rights and promoting fair trade practice. So such kinds of regulatory is very critical for the protecting our consumers. There is also data privacy laws, which is comprehensive data privacy laws, which safeguard our consumers and prevent its misuse. So there is also ongoing effort directed toward addressing technical issues of ATM posts, expanding access points, and enhancing its robustness of payment systems. In addition to that, there is a World Bank diagnostic review of financial consumer protection in Ethiopia, which provide key recommendations for improving the legal, regulatory, institution framework for financial consumer protection. So strategically, there is action including developing and reliable infrastructure, ensuring privacy, data protection, establishing effective dispute resolution mechanisms. So overall, when you see the regulatory framework, scaling up digital payment services in Ethiopia requires addressing there is some kind of infrastructure challenge, such as limited internet connectivity, electricity supply. There is bridging the digital divide by providing access to affordable devices and training. Creating a flexible and adaptive regulatory framework is very critical. Enhancing internet connectivity, electricity supply is essential for adoption in remote areas. So ensuring affordable devices and training for illiterate financial literacy program is very critical. So overall, Ethiopia's regulatory framework for payment is evolving a positive direction, balancing innovation with security and the consumer protection.
Thank you, Girum. And I know that Sisay, you are yourself like a regulator. So I don't know, you have maybe a biased perspective here, but anything to add on regulation?
Actually, Gurum is establishing or telling us the reality. I mean, the regulatory framework was very good now. I mean, we have been introducing a lot of proclamation and standard in this regard. He was mentioning some proclamations, maybe to add some, I think, recently also we have been introduced with personal data protection proclamation in 2024, 1321, proclamation number 1321, which establish a comprehensive legal framework for the protection of personal data. It aims to safeguard individual privacy right by regulating the collection, processing, and storage of personal information by both public and private entities. So that's one. And also, there is a cybercrime proclamation, which intends to protect financial institutions from cyber crimes and also across all sector actually. So that's also an addition, I think, which protect the ongoing development of this instant payment.
Excellent. So we have talked about regulation, about the changes in the last 10 years, some challenges. But we want to talk a little bit about the future, no? How we see the landscape evolving, no? Where do you see the future of instant payments systems heading right now in the country over the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years? What are your thoughts on that, on the future?
Okay. So from what I see, there is a positive prospect. I think you can guess as well. So there will be transaction volume will be expected to increase significantly in that regard. So uh, this driven by the growing demand for quick and convenient payment solution. So consumer will, tends to use these real-time transactions because it will work 24/7 and there is a quick settlement. Also, uh, advancement in technology and infrastructure will facilitate, I believe, this shift. So financial institution also will be investing this innovation in this innovative platform to enhance user experience, and also it will be a competitive area, I believe. That's one. And also there will be a wider adoption of mobile money in this regard, because there are many players that we have been seeing recently that will, they are doing a lot in terms of like reducing cashless society. So, for instance, Telever and M-Pesa products will flourish. That's also what will be expected. There will be a variety of instant payment use case will be introduced. That's also another development, because establishing this instant payment, there is a lot of use cases. As we know, there is a diverse array of instant payment will emerge to cater this consumer and business use cases, including peer-to-peer transfer, online purchase, bill payment, and also cross-border remittance kind of type of transaction will flourish. And also in the interoperability area, we will see a lot of transaction as well, and also adoption. So that will be a lot, because in the national switch is doing a lot of projects in this regard, and also that will, accommodate customer experiences. And in addition to that, we'll expect various market players. So currently, there are a lot of market players, but in the coming 5-10 years, we will be seeing much more uh, fintechs, payment switch operators, payment instrument issuers in the market. And I believe also the last point, there will be a regulatory development advancement in this regard, because a lot of innovative products will be introduced, and for that I think considering security and customer protection, the central bank will introduce a lot of enabling regulatory framework in this regard. Thanks.
Thank you, Sisay, for this perspective on the future. So you were talking about which uses cases you anticipate that will grow, but maybe also taking advantage of one of the questions from the audience, from Daniel Johans. No, let's try to unpack a little bit more some current use cases that we have on working right now in Ethiopia. No, so if you can provide some examples of use cases on IIPS already implemented. No, so I know that you were talking at the beginning, for example, about the new QR payments standard that was launched by EdSwitch early this year, or any other use cases that are existing. No, the question is for both Girum or Sisay. If you can talk a little bit more about these examples, no, that will be also beneficial for addressing the question that Daniel brought into the chat.
So I think the use cases will be, accommodating individuals, business, and government payments. So I think it will be a phased approach. So for now, we're seeing person-to-person transfers, person to business, business to person, kind of scenarios. I think many government institutions have been, involved in this space. So I think the coming future, many payments that involve, government and business will be full-fledged all payment scenarios, we believe, will be incorporated in the interoperability, because that's the whole intention of this instant and inclusive payment system. So I think everybody will stand on that, and everybody is working, I think, in that project. So I think we'll be seeing a lot in that regard. And also you are mentioning about this QR, which will bring a lot of benefit. I think currently, because it accommodates both static and dynamic QR types, and also many financial institution and payment instrument issuer also be very much interested, because it will support their customer by increasing user experience and speeding up payments. So I think it will increase accessibility. It's cost efficient as we know it, and also promote e-commerce as well, because since the payment will be efficient, merchant will be much involved in this type of payment. That's 100%. So, and also by putting the sufficient security in that layer, we will build trust and also increase transaction volume as well at the same time. So I think that's the main intention of standardizing it. It will not be the customer, the end user will not be confused, since it will be a standard. That's the whole intention of it. So I think many businesses, startups will be benefiting from this initiative.
Excellent. Thank you, Sisay. Girum, anything to add from your side?
Okay, just to add some points regarding the IIPS use cases. We are expecting expanding of use cases, including P2Ps, and a good P2P transfer would be expanded, e-commerce, bill payments, and government payments also. The growth of this sector will drive the demand for fast and secure payment options. So, in addition to that, in addition to the use cases, there is also increasing of financial inclusion, like especially among rural and unbanked population. There is leveraging KYC, third KYC process to accommodate low and medium value accounts. So some of them is this. In addition to that, there is also further modernization of retail payment systems, including national payment gateway, instant payment system, shared wallet to promote cash-light economy, which is aligned with the national digital payment strategy. When we see the government initiatives, the strategies regarding the upcoming the Ethiopian digital payment landscape, the 10-year development plan is really, we appreciate the government is committed for the digital transformation. So it provides strong foundation for the development of instant payment system. The other is Digital Ethiopia 2025. This initiative is aimed to create digital society and economy. So emphasizing role of digital payments in facilitating financial inclusion and economic growth is very appreciable. In addition to that, we have National Digital Payment Strategy, which aimed in 2024. So this National Bank of Ethiopia strategy outlines the roadmap for developing robust and efficient digital payment ecosystem, including IIPS. So when we see when we see the State of Inclusive Instant Payments in Africa 2023 report, the growth in cross-border retail payment policy and regulatory harmonization in Africa is highlighted. So there is some highlights continued toward interoperability, affordability, and payment DPI is also the other. The other surprising and somehow central bank digital currency, CBDC. When you see that the exploration of CBDCs in Ethiopia could offer new opportunity for instant payments and financial inclusion. So the launch of new instant payment system by Switch is very, very over the future of in the future of Ethiopia. It looks promising. So with strong government support, technological advancement, and expanding use cases, Ethiopia has the potential to become a leader in digital payments in Africa. Thank you, Xavier.
Excellent, excellent. Sisay for these thoughts. Sensei Girum, Sisay. So let's move a little bit on the IIPS program that you both took. No, both of you have completed our payments program at the Digital Frontiers Institute. No, let's talk a little bit about that. No, how has this specialized training shape your approach to developing and managing payment systems, or in particular regarding the inclusivity of it, no, these layers, no, that we emphasize quite a lot, no, how we can do these instant payment systems much more inclusive, no. So how your experience has been on this regard?
So yeah, thank you, Xavier. So probably I think I believe I remember like when we take this IIPS program, we were implementing the IPS system in Ethiopia. So I was in ET switch. So while doing that, it was like different experience. So it was supporting me and the team a lot. So I think to prioritize a little bit, maybe understanding diverse user needs, it will give us some clarity on that, and also focus on interoperability as well. The courses were like mainly, intended and support this area. I mean, interoperability. So since we are doing that, we were like highlighting the significance of interoperability among different platforms. So this was like crucial for foster cohesive, ecosystem when users can seamlessly transact across various services. So that was a very supportive area as well, and also the courses were emphasizing financial literacy as well. So the curriculum probably include strategy for enhancing financial literacy, recognizing that user may need education on how to use digital payments. So in that regard as well, we have been deploying a lot of workshops at the time. So because we were guided by these courses. So the other one is promoting security and trust. So for that also we were like doing a lot of tasks to to identify those security layers so that we will build a strong foundation, a solid foundation on the trust area as well. And also the courses also like emphasize on collaboration of stakeholders, government, financial institutions, and other tech companies. So that's also something to consider. And also the insights that we have gained from the courses were leading us, towards that. And also that task also have been delivered well, I believe. So generally, completing, I believe, a payment program at the IIPS program at DFI can have, a profound impact on how one approach the development and management of payment system in any country. So particularly considering inclusivity and financial access. So I think that's my recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you, Sisay. Girum, from your side, anything to add there?
Okay, thank you, Jaber. Just in addition to that, firstly, I would like to thank you, DEFA and the BMG, for this initiative. Just you are providing to us this IPS program for free. So I appreciate that, and this is very critical for Ethiopia digital payments. So it's helped me with a deep understanding of how instant and inclusive payment system, understanding, emphasizing interoperability, regulatory frameworks, about consumer protection, capacity building, and strategic implementation. This is some of the insights. These insights have contributed more inclusive and accessible financial landscapes in Ethiopia, which is aligning with our digital payment strategies. So the training equips me with a comprehensive understanding of digital payments ecosystem, enabling them to create payment solutions that cater to the unbanked and underbanked population, which focus on inclusivity and ensure financial services and accessible segment of society, promoting some broader financial inclusion and economic growth. So I would like to encourage audiences, participants to this insightful program. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that, Girum. And in terms of specific insights or tools that the program has been particularly useful for you, any insights that you recall from the courses or from the program?
Okay, can I proceed?
Please.
Okay. Yeah, there is some insights. There is a valuable insights on the, for example, when we see the international principle and the standard regarding regulatory essential for payment system, which emphasizing the financial inclusion. The World Bank and the payment aspect of financial inclusion, we call it PAFI report, serve as a key resource to provide a framework for understanding this payment system from financial inclusion standpoint. It identifies some barriers such as high fees, varying income levels, lack of financial literacy, which hinder access to transaction accounts, which is we can see in Africa. So addressing such kinds of challenges can enhance the national payment system, leading to reduced costs, fostering innovation. Ultimately, the PAFI report align with the World Bank's vision of universal access to transaction accounts, which is very pivotal for economic growth and inclusive financial participation. So additionally, tools like risk assessment framework, regulatory compliance checklists helps us to ensure security, trustworthiness of new payment systems, fostering greater public confidence. So some of them is this. Uh, Thank you. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Excellent, Girum. And the program was developed like 3 years ago, so there has been, and we have been updating it, but there have been new topics or themes that you believe that should be included in future iterations of the program to really better prepare professionals for these evolving challenges that you were describing before. Any particular topic, any particular recommendation for us in terms of themes, topics that need to be included? And maybe I will direct that question to Sisay.
All right. Okay, Javier, thank you. So in that regard, yeah, you already mentioned, we are referring the previous syllabus, so we have not like looking at the recent one. But I believe having new topics like blockchain and this distributed layer technology, I think that's the main one. So exploring how this technology can, enhance the efficiency and security of instant payment. That's one. And also in that regard, there is another topic, the CBDC, currently evolving. So discussing various model of this CBDC model and also its regulatory framework, interoperability with the existing payment system, and also its consumer adoption and trust. If that topic will be discussed, I think it's very great. And also regulatory changes and compliance trends, and also that's something to consider. And the other one is cybersecurity threats and mitigation strategies. I believe there are, I remember there are topics, but extensive looking at it is very good. And also current user experience designs, a suggestion with regards to that. I think it will help a lot of stakeholders that will be taking this IIPS course. And the other topic I think that will be very much included and discussed will be cross-border payments. So I remember I have seen a lot of discussions on that, but the current development and also including the number of transaction, the current number of transaction, and also recent any development that has been done, between countries. If you touch on that in the next syllabus, I think that will be very helpful.
Excellent. So we are entering the last 10 minutes of our webinar. So I think that will be like a good opportunity if there are questions from the audience. No, you can either raise your hand and we can unmute your micros, or you can also drop your question on the chat. Well, we wait for some questions there. Let me ask you, Sisay and Girum, about this new recent framework that is emerging, no, the framework on digital public infrastructure. This is this new emerging framework that tries to establish key digital foundational blocks, no, including digital identity, data exchange, and obviously instant payments as the base for innovation and development of many new digital products and services. How well do you think that this framework align with Ethiopia's new digital government strategy that you were mentioning before about this vision? I think that you were mentioning 2030, 2025, 2030, this vision. How you think that this framework fits in the context of Ethiopia?
Okay, Javier, thank you. The digital public infrastructure framework has been very well aligned with Ethiopian digital government strategy, Digital Ethiopia 2025. When you see that it's focused on secure data exchange, so Ethiopia's recent launch of public infrastructure, PKI, directly addresses, which is PKI, which is launched by the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Dr. Abiy, with collaboration of INSA. So directly addresses the DPS emphasize on secure data exchange. This secure exchange is crucial for the success of National Digital Identity Program, which we are, I think, around 8 million registered. So, and other digital services. When we see the other one is the open standards and innovation. So the DPA framework promotes open standards and a community of innovators. This aligns with Ethiopia's goal of building knowledge-based and innovative economy, which we can see 5 million Ethiopian coders program, which is the government initiative. So in addition to that, inclusive growth and the digital sovereignty, both DPI and Ethiopian strategy emphasize inclusive access to technology and protecting national digital sovereignty. So this joint focus ensures all citizens can benefit and the nation's digital ecosystem remains safe. And finally, the digital skill development. Both framework prioritize developing digital skills, which is critical for Ethiopians to navigate the digital transformation and ensure long-term success. Thank you, Xavier.
Excellent, Girum. And I also see from the audience that we have Salom, that he has his hand raised. So, Salom, the room is yours. So, please, if you want to shortly introduce yourself and share the question that you have with Girum and Sisay, I will appreciate that.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if you are whether audible enough. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you perfectly. Thank you, Salom.
Yeah, hi. Thank you. I am from Namibia. So I just wanted to pose a question to the gentleman on the panel. I did the introduction to instant payment and inclusive payment with Digital Frontier Institute, I think this year. But I just wanted to pose a question with regards to this instant payment on what is the plan on the awareness? How will they make the community aware and trust all this new implementation? It's new, even though other countries have already implemented. How will the public be convinced, and what is the approach? Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Salom, for your question. No, I think that's touch on what we were discussing before about how we build trust, no, how we build awareness, and that really help us to really not only building the infrastructure but be sure that the people use it. I don't know if Sisay, Girum, do you have some thoughts, some recommendation that you can share with our friend from Namibia, with Salom, on his question on how to really raise awareness on this kind of infrastructure.
Yeah. So yeah. So I believe there is that's a collaboration area. So uh, you know this financial literacy area accommodates all participants and also their customer. So for that, I think in our case, the central bank designed, financial literacy program, and also it's one part of a strategy that Groom were mentioning earlier. So part of it, everyone will be, uh, those action items will be distributed to all participants in the ecosystem, so that building this awareness in this digital space will be everyone's job. So I think in order to reduce fraud and also enhance trust, like Javier stating, so this financial literacy has to be implemented very well, so that everybody knows what to work on, so that there will be big campaign workshops for relevant stakeholders, and also that stakeholder will communicate with end users whenever they're visiting branch or through phone call, and also that will grow their trust, and also as well as simultaneously building financial literacy. That's my opinion. Thank you, Javier.
Mhm. Thank you, Sisay. I don't know if Girum, do you have anything to add?
Just to add some points regarding the awareness programs and the collaboration, as we already mentioned it, there is one new initiative which is appreciated for the state of inclusive instant payments in Africa by Africa, and in partnership with World Bank and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa, which offers comprehensive insight into the instant inclusive payment system in Africa challenge, what the challenges, what the strategies for overcoming them, and serving as essential resource for stakeholders across the African continent. So I hope it's good to be referring such kinds of reports. In Ethiopia, we are already instant and inclusive payment system. There is a government, it requires the government support. And without government and regulatory bodies partnership with bank MFIs, it's very difficult. So hosting some webinars like MFIs, some providing such kinds of awareness in instant inclusive payment system program. So when we take such kinds of webinars, when we take such kinds of knowledge sharing and collaboration environment, we learn a lot, and we can contribute for Africa, for our country. Thank you.
Thank you, Girum. And in fact, yeah, I think that African ENDA is releasing the new SIPS report that look at the landscape of instant payment systems in Africa. I think if it's not the next week, in a couple of weeks. So that will be also a good report to read and see where they position all of the existing instant payment systems in terms of the grade of the degree of development. But we are reaching the end of the hour that we allocate for this webinar. So I really want to take the last seconds to just thanks again to all the participants, all the audience for sharing this hour with us, and especially Sisay, Girum for making the time and joining us today. So it has been an authentic pleasure, as always, talking to you and sharing this webinar. So I really appreciate you making the time, and thank you so much for the great work that you are doing.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you for inviting us.